Hi, Kevin Yoder here. Are you a real estate professional and you are looking for advanced sales training? Look no further. There's no one that's providing real estate training like you can see here, real estate sales training. In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to overcome the common buyer objection, which is, I'm going to wait until later. Now look, there are 4 key times throughout the year that a buyer can push off the decision. This video, I'll walk you through each one of those times and how to overcome the objection of, I'm going to wait until later. Watch the video below. If you have any questions at all, we're here to help. This is good. Yeah, thanks. That's good. That's a perfect one. I love it because it's so let's talk about timing. I'm going to wait to buy blank and insert it. So in real estate, just know that there's a couple key times of year that you're going to hear. This is the big one. And it's going to come in the form of this. I'm going to wait until after the holidays. As though it's like a, I don't know. I know it's a busy time of year, but yeah, like it's either holidays or it's New Year. Okay? And then what's the third one?
Spring.
Spring?
Summer.
Spring, I mean, so yeah, school year. Who said that? Yeah, school year. So those are all common. These two here are well, they're all universal, but these two are bigger in Michigan and colder climates because they tie it to like being cold and they don't want to navigate around. So when you get to these, so tell me about that. So let's just do this real quick. So, hey, what's an ideal timeline when you think about making a move?
I was thinking about moving a couple months ago, but now it's getting really cold. I'd rather just not move until after the holidays.
Oh, after the holidays.
Yeah.
Great. So when you say after the holidays, does that mean like you're gonna start moving on December 26th? And by the way, sidebar, caveat. They don't mean after the holidays. They don't mean that. They say that, but if they meant that, that would mean on on January 2nd, they're making a move. They don't mean that. You know what they really mean? Yeah, they're full of shit. They don't mean that. They don't mean that. They don't mean they're saying that, and the reason why they're saying that is because they know that that's going to be an acceptable objection for you to grab a hold of and just go, okay. It's just so easy. We're going to wait till after the holidays. Oh, okay, I get it. I know what you mean. Busy times. That's all, right? See? They already know that. That's an easy, acceptable one.
Yeah, it's cold outside.
Yeah, it's cold. I know, I hear that. I wore an extra layer of underwear today, right? See? But do you want to just go along with that? When you say, okay, got it, holidays, I'm going to repeat back, I'm going to spoon feed you back your words. Oh, holidays. You're like, yeah, holidays. When you say that, what do you mean?
I would rather move when it's warmer.
Okay, so it's not holidays. So in other words, when you say that, that's why I was asking you. So I'm going to just call you out on your bullshit answer now and say, so when you said holidays, you really meant warmth. So in your mind, when are you going to move them? If it's not after the holidays, it's not January 2nd, when is it going to happen?
Probably after my spring break trip.
Ah, now it's spring break. Okay, what's important to you about moving after spring break?
We're busy and it'll be warmer.
Busy and warmer. Just curious, so what has you being so busy right now?
The holidays. Family.
After that though, because we have from January 2nd until April 20th, in my estimate. It could be a little bit off, but like what's happening between January 2nd and April 20th, if that's when spring break ends? What's keeping you so busy?
Well, I guess I'm not sure.
Make something up.
Kids sports.
Kids sports. Kids sports. Oh, hockey. Got it. Okay. So just thinking about your upcoming move, I'm just curious, is there anything that's happening around April, May, June that isn't happening right now in your life? Something that's not happening right now. What happens in April, May, June in your world?
Soccer. More sports.
Soccer, yeah. Typically, there's something else happening. There's summer sports and moving around. Okay, so if I'm hearing you right, there's going to be sports then too. It's just going to replace this one. And so like there isn't going to be, oh, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is there's not going to be this open, your calendar is not going to go like, oh, like an open wide spot of 2 months where I have nothing going on. Is that going to happen?
No.
No.
I'm always busy.
No, because nature abhors a vacuum. And what happens is, and because of Parkinson's law, we fill that space right up. In other words, what most people tell me is that they're actually busier than they thought they would be because they've rationalized this. They've kicked the can down the road. And the truth is, the collective way of living is we're always busy. And we're always going to use that word. We're always going to say we're busy. So buyers have told me that they waited. This is what they told me. Get this. I'm now into storytelling mode, and I'm off you because I was on you for a minute. I'm off you now. I'm over here. Buyers have told me that they waited for spring break to get over, or summer. And interest rates ticked up 1.5 points. And then in what?
Competition.
In competition. And so what they realized was, guess what? They're not any less busy now. They're, in fact, when I met with them after those 6 months, they're like, yeah, I'm busy. Guess what? We're all busy. It's always going to be the thing. So if you knew then, if it made financial sense, would you be, how open-minded would you be? Oh, here we go. Drop this right in right now. How open-minded would you be if it made financial sense to just move that up now, given that we know that later on there isn't going to be this open spot in your calendar that is just this magical 2 weeks or 3 weeks or month of just open space? How open-minded would you be?
Open-minded.
Yeah, of course. Because if it made financial sense, most people would, right? That's great.
Also, price and everything you did now is a way better time to buy.
Yeah, you wait till home prices are going up in the spring, so you have a double hit. Interest rates go up, home prices in an increasing market. If they're here, they're going to be here, right? They peak in July, so you're going to be on that upward trend. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it seems like it's naturally you're beginning to see the benefits of paying attention when it makes financial sense, rather than, well, I'm not going to be honest. I'm not going to say that. Let me take those words back. I'm not going to say I'm going to be honest because that's a sleazy salesperson thing to say. Most people, Emily, say what you've just said. They kind of take this whole area here and they just push it off because they heard other people saying they're going to do the same thing. So it's kind of like they just kind of go along with what they think is the norm. But it doesn't mean it makes financial sense. What was the thing we talked about? Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if you know their why at this point too.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And by the way, you said you wanted to be in your dream home. And so I'm just curious, just that home you said you wanted with your family? What would that look like if you could be in there opening Christmas presents on Christmas morning? What would that look like? Would that be acceptable to you? Would it be? Would that be awesome? Would the kids love it? Magical. That's a good way to describe it. Magical. There you go. You could bring up the kids. Wouldn't your kids love that, right? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah. So does that help with timing? So let me give you just so you don't necessarily have to articulate these words, but you certainly need to understand what's at play here. These are definite things, but they don't represent the true nature about what is in their best interest. These are just timelines they use to kick the can down the road so that they don't have to make a decision now. But if they knew that there's other implications, there are implications based on waiting that they're not aware of. Interest rates, home prices going up. So if they knew that the home's going to cost an extra 10 grand and the payment's going to go up $150, would that be a more powerful concept than just waiting until spring break is over? Most people would say yes. And some people, frankly, it doesn't matter. Some people, it doesn't matter. They're still not going to move. We have to give them the insights. That's the key. We have to give them, Gary Keller said it awesomely. First time I had heard this is our job as agents is to not just open doors and sell homes. It's to give people perspective. Perspective. See? Because without perspective, yin, yang, hot, cold, up, down. And there isn't one without the other, right? And so there's not a good time to buy unless you understand that when the market goes up, you're going to spend more money, and you're also going to see there's a better time if you're going to time it. If you're going to time things, then why don't we base it on real the things that impact that decision more than just a notion or just a made up thing. Like they weren't. But I guess my point is they weren't basing anything other than just a notion or a thought.
Take this and use it as your clients. So I know you guys came in the summer. Take an example that happened with your clients. You know, there's, I don't, gray zone, whatever you want to call it. Say, you know, last winter when we were, I had some clients that put it off. They wanted to wait till after spring break. We did that. You know, it took them an extra 2 months to get in the house because we had so much competition and home prices went up. Now, they said, what they told me was, they wish that they would have done it before the new year, so now that they're able, they would have been in the home, and not having to deal with this while they're trying to go on vacation, trying to do summer break, kids were out of school, they could just relax, and now they're, you know, just make up stories.
Wait, does that mean I can get more for my house though? Because I heard that one last week.
And who says you can't call them
You
back?
mean,
Waiting until spring
Yeah.
and summer.
yeah, possibly.
Selling is
Possible.
a little different, it's,
Yeah.
it's a little tougher if you can get them, it's,
Look,
Well, I heard that.
comes down, I mean, it just depends, because if you're in an area that's,
really motivating them.
yeah, I mean, if you're waiting for a reason that's not lining up, because if you're selling and you're buying, the interest rate is the other factor that you can use too. And by the way, the goal here isn't to like masquerade or like lie or any of that stuff. It's the idea that they need to be aware of the implications of, and also aware if they're just delaying for the sake of delaying. Most of this is they're delaying it because they think they have the illusion that time's going to open up for them, and there's going to be this big, huge, open, wide space of extra time. That's the illusion, is extra time. There's no such thing as extra time. You're going to be just as busy in 4 months as you are now, because if you are so busy you can't stand it, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. What is that reason? Consider that you could have gotten up 2 hours earlier and did all of the stuff that you're see? I mean, yeah, we can go on and on for that one. Like you're going to take yourself with you, right? You're going to wake up and it's going to be April and you're going to be with yourself. You could exit out the building of your employer and you're going to take yourself with you and you're going to bring yourself to the next place. Unless you've changed that, you're just as busy in a year from now or 2 years or 20 years as you were today because you're so busy. That's a state of being, by the way. That's a paradigm. Yeah. Timing. So do you think you have it? Yeah, just ask them. So when you say that, what do you mean? Tell me more about that. Tell me more is a good way to just have them unroot that and say, so okay, so it seems like it's not really holidays. So then what is the time? What's an ideal timeline for you? They're going to tell you. What's in that? What's the reason? What's underneath that? And then just keep on digging there. If they don't understand. Hope you enjoyed that video on how to overcome the buyer objection, which is, I'm going to wait for later. It's a simple timing objection. And if handled correctly, if you know the right words, and more importantly, if you know the right questions to ask, you can overcome this one most of the time. If you need anything from me, reach out to me. You can go to joinyoderrealestate.com if you're interested in learning more about joining the team. Or if you have an email, just send it to kevin@yoderrealestate.com. I'm more than happy to field your questions for you. You can also comment below, and I'll see you at the top.